I hope what everybody is saying isn't true.
Yeah,
you know?
like the purge and stuff. I hope none of that.
I don't think that's gonna happen though.
You mean like the illegal immigrants being deported?
Yeah.
What he said is that if you're an illegal alien and you've committed crimes in the U.S., those are the people they're going to go after to deport. Yeah.
I still don't feel like it's right.
I
though.
still think Kamala should end up.
Kamala should have won. Well, you don't think it's right to deport illegal immigrants who have committed crimes in America?
No.
Really? What should we do with them?
Crimes?
Like sexual assault, murders?
I'm sorry. Yes, they definitely get them out of here. But like everybody though, what if people just trying to make a living? What if it's worse over there and they came over here and they didn't commit no crimes and they making them go back and they just trying to make it? You know? I just feel like everybody shouldn't go, but like.
Yeah, well,
I feel like it just depends on the crime, honestly. Like,
friend, depends on the crime.
yeah, like if you out here doing like rape, sexual assault, sexual abuse.
Yeah,
then, I mean,
what kind of crime is a good crime though?
None is good,
Oh.
but it really depends on the crime. Like, because there's people out here that's being wrongfully accused of crimes they didn't even do.
Oh yeah, that is true.
So it's like, I don't know.
But
I
all of
don't
them?
know.
How do you know who committed the crime though? Like you can't just take all of them. All of them did do nothing wrong.
no. So these are ones that have been arrested for committing a crime in the U.S.
Oh,
And they
just
know that
them?
they did it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Get them out of here then.
Okay.
Get them out of here.
Yeah, y'all come join us. What do we think?
How do you feel about the election?
Yeah, and what happened in the next 4 years?
Based on what Trump has verbally said and his policies and plans, I don't personally agree with it. I think, I don't really know. I don't know if the election was rigged or not. I believe that the American system, the way our elections are run, I think whatever the results are, that's fine with me. I think that the fact that he has been elected is kind of shocking based off the things that he supports and plans to put in place. But
Like what? Can you point me to like a specific thing that you disagree with him?
well, I saw he made a speech saying that he was going to get rid of the Department of Education and defund that.
Yeah, the fast food
Yes.
stuff that we really
Crazy.
need.
That we need.
Yeah. So yes, he was talking about getting rid of the Department of Education and giving the power back to the states to actually teach students and develop curriculum for the students rather than it coming from the federal government.
Right, which I think that has also, that isn't really beneficial to us, because another thing that was delegated by the states was slavery. You got to choose. States got to choose if they agree with slavery, if they wanted to put that into place. I think that
But I mean, there was a constitutional amendment to end that like a very long time ago. This is a federal administration that actually. So here's something crazy. When the Department of Education was made, America was #1 in the world in education. Right now, we're 44th, literally 44th, and we're spending more per pupil than we ever have in the history of education, and we're still falling.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't feel like neither one of them deserves to be president. Kamala wasn't a good choice either. But if I had to choose, it would have been Kamala.
yeah.
But also things that she said I did not agree with, like making marijuana legal, like all that stuff that it wasn't sitting right with me.
She said
But also, yeah,
I think
She said that?
I think
Oh,
she was
okay.
gonna make it legal because the amount of people that have been incarcerated over weed charges, when recently they haven't been taking that the punishment to that extent in which other people have been in prison for like longer sentences when it comes to weed charges and things like that.
Well, did you know that she actually actively persecuted people because of marijuana charges in California? I'm from California.
I have family in California. I think that, isn't California one of the states that it's supposed to be legal?
It's legal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So I think that if you look into her actual, like, the numbers of people that she's prosecuted that have went to prison for marijuana charges, it was listed as over 1,000 people. But if you look into like the numbers, it was breaking down like the total sum of people that were incarcerated for marijuana charges was less than 200.
So you're okay with her prosecuting them as long as they don't actually end up going to prison?
I mean, that, I don't really care that much about weed. I'm thinking about other things like our civil rights, our reproductive rights. I'm thinking about how, if the education system is delegated by states, then what will the American curriculum look like? What will it look like if certain states if certain states choose to not implement a good curriculum for every student?
Well, do you think states would do a better job at knowing what their individual students in their states should learn? Or do you think this should come straight from the government? Do you think we should take everything from one organization, or should it be spread out?
Spread out.
Spread out?
Yeah,
I think so too.
I think it should be
If
spread
I
out.
think it really depends. I think it really depends. I think it's very situational. I think that there are certain things that the government should not make decisions on, but there are certain things that the government I think that certain things should be regulated.
Let me ask you a question. If all three of you, the next 4 years, things get better, inflation prices come down, rent gets cheaper, economy gets better, and you don't experience any civil rights violations or anything like that, everything's just pretty much normal, would you consider in the future voting for someone who's on the Republican ticket who kind of espouses the same kind of ideals that Donald Trump did, maybe in a different way though?
Honestly, if it's benefiting me, yes. Because in the world, I'm sorry, but in the world we live in right now, like, you never know, like, what could happen. Like, if we would have voted for Kamala, who say it could have been worse than what Trump is doing right now? You never know, like, I don't know. It really just depends, really.
I think that everyone should educate themselves on who they believe they should vote for. I'm registered as independent because I believe that if a Democratic candidate or a Republican candidate fits my interests best, that's who I'm going to vote for.
Exactly.
I think that the person I'm going to choose to vote for the candidate that benefits the majority, not just myself. I think that my rights deserve to be protected, but everyone's rights deserve to be protected as well. I think that if the economy is the number one issue that people think that we're going to benefit from when Trump is a candidate, I think I guess that you made your choice and there you go. But the tariffs are going to make prices for us higher. Like, that's what Trump said that he was going to implement.
So right now, our biggest trading partner besides Canada is China. They make everything that we need: medications for patients, masks, ventilators, clothing, everything. So when things like COVID happen, you have a supply chain logistics that shuts down completely, and then we don't have any of the stuff that we need: medications, gloves, masks. So the whole point of tariffs is to incentivize people in America to say, okay, now I can compete with those cheap Chinese products because they're going to be more expensive because there's a tariff on them. So maybe me as a business owner, I'll start a company in America, hire American workers. That way we can actually make the stuff we need and compete with Chinese products, have it better quality, because we know, made in America products are typically good durability. Chinese products, you use it a few times. Like, if you buy a shirt and you wash it a few times, it's done. You got to buy a new one. It's called planned obsolescence, where they want you to keep buying stuff so they make their products cheaper so they break more often. So we have to spend less money, and we don't have to ship it all the way from China. So people who are concerned about climate change, instead of shipping stuff in China, they make 32% of all the world's CO2 pollution. We can actually make it here where we have much stricter emission standards.
I love that idea, but it seems very hypothetical.